What's going on, people from the tube? Welcome back to another Pancho Things. We are back at it. There is Matt. So, things got a little bit technical. Let's get started.
Fishing with dummies, y'all.
Yeah.
So things got a little bit technical. We're going to be using some technique. I'm going to go more in detail later, but fish are jumping, so we got to get to this. All right. First snag of the day. Oh, this is way longer though. It's interesting. Where are you? So I don't cast over you. What are you throwing the net? So we're gonna have to fish the edges of all this vegetation. So we're gonna switch tactics here. Oh, this is the pumpkin that I found. So we're gonna switch gears here. So when we went to Sportsman's Warehouse, they told us that fish are working in different techniques. So we had to study the different techniques and what they were and how they operate. And yeah, it's a lot of information. So what we're doing is doing a drop shot. That's what I was throwing just now. As I said, I'm gonna go over this on more details later. But right now I'm gonna tie it up for a technique called Texas rig. The cool thing with the Texas rig is that if you need to go through brush, it will help you not to get tangled. And that's where the fish is right now. So this is the first time that I rig a Texas rig, so we're about to find out. What is it? Yeah. Does that? Well, first snack I'm gonna have to cut because I couldn't record it. Oh yeah, that's a carp. Yeah, that one is a carp. Dude, that thing is huge. That's the whole point, right? They're ugly as. So all this time we were trying to catch for bass. And all we got here is carp. Alright, so we're gonna pack up and go to another point because all we got here is carp, and apparently they don't want any of what we have. So they want corn. Yeah, so we don't have.
We're not ready.
Hey Matt, let me see what your shirt says. What? You got an angler shirt.
I'm not an angler yet, but I can at least look like one. We're at Lake Skinner currently. We are at a third location we've been to on the lake. I don't know, we're gonna see what's up because there's a bunch of carp and trout at the other one. They don't like us, so we're gonna try over here. Well, there's a bunch of carp. I don't know if there's trout. We saw what we think is trout.
I gotta say, dude, these things feels great. You know what doesn't feel great?
Not catching fish.
Wet pants.
Oh yeah.
I went confident on this ledge and it tricked me. About to snag myself walking, dude. This is the worst. Man. Look what you got in front of you.
Nothing.
Again, skunked, 0. Now, we gotta get serious here. So, this is what's happening. This is what's happening. This lake is huge, and the areas that you can fish without a boat are not the most accessible ones. Like, there's just certain areas. Most of the areas don't even have cover, so you already know there's no fish in there. Now, today we learn a ton of stuff. And the important part was that, one, we committed. We came, we jumped in there, we tried to do the thing. We saw carp.
A lot of carp.
Tons of carp.
Big carp, like this
Like
big.
huge carp. We saw another fish that we're not 100% sure if that was or either a trout or a baby carp or some form of bass. We don't know, but nothing was biting. They were jumping everywhere, but
Literally.
nothing that we have is for carp.
Nope.
So they were literally like the lures. Matt had carp look at him. I had carp look at it, and they didn't even bother.
Walked right by it
Yeah.
multiple times.
So we found out a couple of things. The first thing is, regardless of how crazy you think fishing gear like shirts are, bro, it does the job. It does the job. It is, the sun is toasting and we are fresh. It's fresh. At the beginning we didn't get him out because it was 37 degrees when we got here. So what did you get?
I learned how to, on the fly without watching a video, tie a uni knot and a drop shot knot. I learned how to reel my own, spool my own reel, or however you want to say that. I learned there is a difference in sizes and your rod will say what size. Oh, I also learned that the actual reel has a measurement of what size to put on there. I didn't even know that. I just thought it was all the same, but it's not. And then I learned how to Ned Rig, I learned how to drop shot, I learned how to Texas rig, and for the third time in a row I learned how to not catch fish.
I learned how to properly do not just the Texas rig as part of the rig, but how to put and present the bait properly. And it's kind of finicky because if the hook gets a little bit exposed, you're gonna get snagged. And I got snagged quite a few times.
Yeah, me too.
My dad had two rods that are seven footers, and he.
She's my mom's.
Oh, Matt's mom had two rods, and they're 7 footers, and they were gracious enough to give me one. So thank you very much. Appreciate that. I gotta say, man, coming from that 5-foot thingy, dude, it's a different ball game.
It's 9. I mean, even mine's only 6 inches off, and it was a difference in casting.
Yeah, you can cast better.
My other one's 6'6".
Yours is 6'6", mine is 5. The other one is 5 something. By mistake, I came across of skipping. How to skip. I cast wrong and it skipped. And I'm like, uh-oh. So I kept trying. I got the idea. What else did I learn today? Well, I did learn that when you don't get a fish is depressing. Boats are expensive. It's a lot of money on those boats. But unfortunately, we didn't get anything. So I'm gonna go home. Matt has a camera in his house, and I'm gonna ask him to do a video of all the knots that he knows and make him a video where he's showing how he makes them. And I'm gonna do the same, and I'm gonna post that here. I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna go through all the things that I have learned and what I'm using, and in that way you guys can comment and see if there's something that we're doing wrong, if it's if there's something that you guys will do differently, or it might be only the case that we're fishing in a place where there's not that much fish. Now that could be the case because the people that we have seen there, the few times that we've been there, they haven't caught anything. So I'm gonna go first with the 2 knots that I know. So the first one is the fisherman's knot. So it's gonna be lined through the hook. Pull that up. We hold tag line and the main line together. We spin this guy 5 times. I'm gonna grab the tag line. We're gonna pass it to this loop right here. Boom. Once it's in the loop, we're gonna grab the tag line and we're gonna pass it through the loop that we created, this whole circle that we created over here. Pass that over there. Wet it up. And then we'll cinch this guy up. on top. So that's the fisherman's knot, or what I believe is called the fisherman's knot. Then you got the excess tagline. You're good to go. The other knot that I'm using in one of the rigs is the Palomar knot. This one is rather simple. Line through the eye of the hook, and we're gonna come back through the eye of the hook again. So we have a double line. We're gonna extend that tag line a little. You have the hook on a double line. We're gonna grab that and we're gonna make a form of a knot. Pass it through that loop. And once we are on that loop, we're gonna pass the hook. We're gonna put the hook through that loop. Boom. We weight it up. Let's cinch it down. There we are. Palomar knot. So those are the two knobs that I'm using. Originally that's what we were doing. Just going straight to either a lure or a hook with a worm or whatever case might have been. And that didn't work for us. We were reading and we came across the different rigs, Carolina rigs, Texas rigs, and drop shots. So we decided to give it a try. That hasn't worked either, which made me to believe that we're just fishing in the wrong spot. So I'm going to show you the drop shot rig first. So for the drop shot rig, what we're doing is a Palomar knot. This time we're going to have a longer tagline, so I'm gonna grab quite a bit. As you cinch, you're gonna realize that you have an extra piece of line. Now the idea with the drop shot rig is that we're gonna have this hook stray while we have a weight on the bottom. In order to make that hook sit properly, is that we're gonna pass the tagline through the hook eye. Push it down. Now the hook is sitting up straight. Now this is not the hook that I wanted to use for that, but this is the best hook that I can come with in order to make this in camera make sense. So main line coming from the top, hook, and then now on the tagline we're gonna put a weight, a sinker. And if you see right here, we have a groove. So what we're gonna do is grab the tagline and we're gonna pass it through that groove. And there it is. So if we go back out, I'm gonna show you. This is how that rig looks like. Hook goes all the way down. Okay, so the drop shot, the idea is that the weight is in the bottom and then the hook is suspended above the bottom, so the fish can actually see the bait above the ground. So there's different ways that you can set this up. So you got what they call the nose hook, which it will be something about like this. Okay, so that would be nose hook. So when this is there, you will be having some motion right there in the water while the weight is right in the bottom. So that's the nose hook. Then you have the wacky, or what they call the Wacky Worm, which will be kind of like in the center, like that, and then you will have movement on the worm. As you move it, here in the water will give you motion, right? So that's the wacky. And then you have what some people say is the Texas rig presentation. The idea of the Texas rig presentation is that the barb and the tip of the hook is embedded inside of the worm. Now, once again, this is not the right hook for this. I'm just showing this because it's the easiest hook that I have for it to see properly in the camera. So, in theory, the idea of this is that you go in with your worm, go right in, and it's gonna come right back out. You're gonna go up the shaft of the hook. You're gonna spin this guy around, and then we're gonna cover that with the tip of the hook, and the hook. I'm not really good at doing this. Bear with me. So there is, if you throw these into branches or stuff like that, the idea is the hook being inside of the worm will prevent you from getting snagged, and it give you a different profile. So that's as for the drop shot and how I'm rigging this. So I'm gonna show you how I do my Texas rig. Once again, it's a different hook that you're gonna use, but I'm using this for just so the camera can grab the visual. So for the Texas rig, so it's gonna be kind of like the same principle, but the only difference that we're gonna do with the Texas rig is that we're gonna put a weight on it, sliding bullet weight. So we're gonna grab the line, I'm passing the line through the weight, sliding the weight in, I grab my hook, I'm gonna do a fisherman's knot on this one. And the coffee is not kicking in fast enough for me to do this. Okay, so grab that line 5 times. There it goes. We're gonna pass that tag line through that loop that was created, and that will create another loop. What we're gonna do is we're gonna pass the tag line through that loop. Alright, gonna with it. And we're gonna cinch it down. Well, nonetheless, not ever, but it will do for the explanation. So then you cut your excess line, and we're good. So now what this do is that you're gonna have this weight, right? So once you put your presentation or your bait, will go up, the weight will go down, and then the bait will slowly go down. So you can have movement, right? And I've been rigging on this. I had rigged worms, I had rigged bandito bugs, I have rigged critters, I have rigged pretty much everything. And once again, it's been unsuccessful. So I have a feeling that our problem here is not so much the techniques that we're using, which actually we were forced to learn these really quickly, which is good. But I think that we were in the wrong place. So we are heading up to a different lake on Monday.
Alrighty, this is a quick example of some of the rigs I was running third day at Skinner. First one was the Texas rig. The second one was the drop shots, but Francisco already showed you basically how to run those. This third one is the one I was running also. It's called the Ned Rig. And it's one of these hooks and one of these wiggle worms right here going that way. It's essentially a version of a drop shot. It's just kind of like a little easier to use. So how I run it is like this with a Palomar Knot, which I'm not the best at yet, but let's do it. You get to watch me stick myself probably. Boom. And then let's tie it. I'm not very good at this, but whatever. You get to see me struggle. Boom, 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 boom. Did I do it? Did I do it? I think I did it. Yeah? No? Maybe? Yeah? Boom, there we go. Alright, and then we wrap that around there like that. Make sure you get it over that big old head like that. Bada bing. Pull the tagline. See, now I know what a tagline is. I'm cool. So there's that. Let me see if I got some scissors here. Tagline. Let me make sure I don't cut the wrong one. There we go. Okay. So then you cut the tagline, boom, and then you got a solid connect right there. There's two different parts to this. There's like a more striped part and then a wiggly part, and that's the part you want wiggling. So this part goes on it, and you basically rig it like a Texas rig. So you go about halfway in. Not halfway, about a quarter of the way in, and then you start going up through it, and then you pull it all the way up, just like that. Yeah, just like that. And there's a very poorly done one. Looks like we should have probably entered in a little bit below that. Let me see if I can pull it back out. Ugh. So let's go maybe right there. Yeah, let's see how that goes. As you can tell, I'm not the best at this, but whatever. So then, yeah, you straighten it out, and you get that sucker touching right there. This is a green pumpkin on both of these. Like, actually, the head is colored green pumpkin, and that's it. I mean, obviously, you can do a better job doing this, but you get the idea. And then you run it a lot like a Carolina rig. It's ran on the bottom, so it falls like that, and then it kind of wiggles up, and as you pull it, it goes up and then back down, so it looks like, you know, something trying to get something to eat. And I'm still not the best of it, but hey man, I'm running it. I got all the stuff. I got that finesse TRD. I found out TRD stands for the real deal. And the Elastec, this stuff doesn't really break, man. It's pretty sturdy. I actually lose it more than I break it. So yeah, so that's what I was running, besides the Texas rig and the drop shot that third day. And I got more stuff that I'll be using in the future, but I thought I'd show you this for all the cool stuff. Alright, peace.
Not catching fish doesn't mean that we lost the day. We actually learned a ton today.
Yeah.
But I want to give you guys valuable information of how we got to this and how we learned.
And you can then tell us if we're doing it wrong.
Oh yeah, like immediately. Like if you see that we're making that thing backwards, please comment down below. Let us know. Be like, hey, that's wrong, or that's not the name of that, or that's...
Yeah, because this isn't fishing with experts. This is fishing with dummies. So
yeah, and there's two of us. So two dumps. Let us know if there's easy ways to do things, or a right way, and we might be doing wrong. So this is gonna be that video. This video is gonna be pretty much, I'm not gonna bother you guys with us casting and listening to hundreds of carp jumping everywhere and us just getting anything. So we went to 3 different spots today, and yeah, we ran with the same log on all 3. But there you have it. Another day in the books. Fish 3, dummies 0.
Yeah.
But hey, we're not defeated. We actually gained some knowledge, and that's, for now, that's good. Just wait, hold on. We're gonna come back. We're gonna come back from this.
Yeah, hold on for a long time, because you'll need to.
We might as well tell you, go see you next year.
Exactly.
And if you guys have other techniques, other pieces of gear that you guys are using that we might find easily, we'll give it a try. We pretty much are trying anything. Like right now, if you tell us that if we throw a freaking papaya in the middle of that thing, and we're gonna cut fish, we're gonna come here with a pallet. Thank you so very much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell so you can be notified every time that I upload a new video, even if we don't caught a fish. And I will see you in the next one.
Pancho out.
Pancho.